Sometimes statement may not be clear, but there is always a deeper understanding. It is not just about the who said what. The whens, hows, and wheres are equally important. Join me on a whole new journey in the conversation with Augustus as I bring you discussions from religion to politics, health to economy, humanity to social activities, among many others. Conversation with Augustus knows no foreign borders. The show comes to you every Wednesday at 6:15 p.m. GMT on our YouTube channel Conversation with Augustus and on Radio Angelus www.radioangelus.com. This program is sponsored by Safe Life Experience Consult Limited. Contact them for all your travel and tour needs, as well as your events. To the conversation with Augustus. I hope you are doing well. Today, I'm very blessed to have with me a lady and two gentlemen who have really served the Lord in his vineyard, not as priests or not as reverend sisters, but as altar servers. First, when I joined, it was Night of the Altar, and later on in life, during the tenure of the late Archbishop Andor, ladies were permitted to join the altar service. So it became Knights and Ladies of the Altar. Today, I'm blessed with a lady and two gentlemen to talk about their lives as altar servers, their days, those days when they were boys of the altar and lady of the altar. So my guests are Mr. Andy Manume, who happens to be one time an altar server seated at Debbie Avenue in Accra, the first Catholic church within the Archdiocese of Accra. If you don't add that one, there'll be a fight. So let me just add it so that go on. Please.
Thank you very much. It's
and
good you know.
To my other brother, to Augustine of Our Lady of Mercy, the first Catholic church in Tema. And to my dear sister, Mrs. Rufina Annabelle. She's also from St. Catherine. Lady and gentlemen, you're most welcome to the conversation with Augustus.
Thank you, Augustus.
Ladies first. Rufi, what made you join the altar service?
Oh, okay. So let me start like this. We were having a meeting, a Children of Mary meeting in 1999, when Father David had been transferred there fresh. So he came and said, "Do we want to be mass service?" Because there were no ladies. It was only Knights of the Altar. Then we said yes. So he said, "Okay, those who want to join, come in. We are having a meeting now, so come and join." So that's how come I joined mass service, and since then I have been in it. Okay.
To my dear brother Augustine, a word from Our Lady of Mercy Catholic Church, Tema. I know your father was the catechist for a very long time. I think the longest serving catechist of Tema. Not only Our Lady of Mercy, let me say Tema. Augustine, please, what made you join the altar service?
I have 8 other siblings, and all of them are members of Sacred Heart, that's physicians. And my mother was forcing me to go and join them. She tried and tried and tried. I decided not to go to the physicians. My father was a mass server before. So I decided to know why, if my father is a mass server, why don't I also be a mass server? So after first communion, that was around 1988, I decided to go and join the mass service. Then I became a mass server.
Okay. Mr. Manume.
Yes. For us, I have two other brothers. My senior brother was a mass server in Sacred Heart Parish, and he said it right, the first Catholic church of the others of Accra. and before I even say how I joined the mass server, look, once a mass server, always a mass server. There's nothing like an old mass server. The spirit is there because, unfortunately, any parish that I go, I visit, and there's something wrong on the altar after mass. Oh, the mass servers will have a meeting with me. I'll demand a meeting. For example, I'll ask the mass servers, why do you genuflect at this point or bow? If they don't get it, then I have to explain. But that's another discussion will come. So once a mass server, once a mass server. So after my first communion in 1996, one of the things that Father Campbell, my then parish priest, will insist after receiving first communion, you should join a society. CYO, CASU, Mass. For me, Mass serving was an automatic thing because my senior brother was a Mass server. And most of the guys that we joined the catechism, we all came out. So I was just checking the date, and it was actually Sunday, July 13th, 1997. Sunday, July 10th, 1997 was when I was initiated, and I've never looked back.
Okay.
Like I said, once a master, always a master.
So, Augustine, do you remember the dates? Because I think Rufina can remember the year, and Andy has given us the date. Can you remember the year or the date you joined?
I think it was in 1988. That was
Wow.
around immediately after the first communion. I took my first communion on 25th May. So I think it was first week in June, 88.
So you actually took your first communion before joining the altar service. Was that
Yes,
a requirement?
It was a requirement. Because if you are not taking communion, you cannot serve.
So then I think I'm an exception because I joined before receiving communion.
Yeah, so you can join, but you not serve, so you take first communion.
Yeah, it's true. Okay. So I'm looking at your days as mass service. When you look back, what are those things you really miss as altar service?
We had our training differently. I quite remember Father Nisa. At that time, he was the president, and they have standard because they will tell you that you are the face of the church. Everybody sees you, so everything about you should be different from the congregation. The way you dress, the way you cut your hair, even the way you speak, the way your education, your results should also speak for you. So the standard was very high. I quite remember our mates, after our BC, the results came, some of them were sacked because the result was no good. Because the standard was there, you teach how to speak English, how to conduct meeting. So they gave us a very high standard, So it challenged our group, it challenged all of us to reach another height of life. So if I compare to the current generation, it's not like that. Because myself, every day you see me in church during our mass service, it's compulsory. You have to come to weekday masses. It's compulsory after mass, you have to wait and close all the doors. It is compulsory that Saturday morning you have to come sweep the church, mop the sanctuary. It's compulsory that you have to wash our things every weekend. So the standard was very high then.
Okay. Rufi.
Yeah.
Okay, so during your time, what do you miss as an altar server? I know now you can. Do you still serve?
Oh, it's been a while. They wanted me to serve. When was that? They were
Was it
having
Mother's
some
Day?
program. Yeah, but because of my small boy,
Okay.
I couldn't.
Okay, so what do you miss as a lady of the altar?
Oh, what do I miss? I think I miss everything about mass serving. The discipline during our time, like you'd have to come to, if you are coming to serve, you are supposed to get there an hour before mass begin. You help in preparation of the altar and all those things. And I think the disciplined part is what I liked. But comparing to now, when you go and somebody has to even serve, you see them coming 10 minutes before the mass starts or something, and they don't prepare. But those times we'd have to come and sit down, read the reading for the day, go through it, discuss it before you even go to the altar. And it made us committed to doing what we were doing.
Okay. Okay. So, Mr. Andy Manume, I would want to find out
Yes.
from you.
Mm,
You've heard from Augustine. He made mention of discipline. Rufina has also
yeah.
reiterated that point. He made mention of education, not only being taught
Yes.
how to serve, but also education when it comes to academics.
Yeah.
Was it the same thing at your parish?
Same. I mean, if you know my parish very well, Debbie Avenue, Sigal Parish, Debbie Avenue, in the heart of Accra, it wasn't really a well resourced. If I say well resourced, I mean a money parish. These are the parish is located in the heart of Accra with migrants who have come to Accra to look for greener pastures, and so. Um, the mass service, the joy of a mass service is that if you're a mass server, there are some schools you have to go. You only go to Pope John, you only go to St. Martin's, you only go to St. Peter's, you only go to St. Paul's. I mean, because the point is that when Father Campbell or Reverend Brother Patrick Murphy is having a retreat, you get them to visit you, and the joy is that when they come back from vacation, they spoke about how they were in school and Father Campbell or Brother P came to visit them. So you as a mass server, you you as a mass server to your only thing you have to do was to excel in your academics and go to Saturday for vacation.
Hmm.
That kept us to study because I mean when one of our seniors said as a mass server you cannot fail an exam. There's no way a mass server fail an exam.
Hmm.
If you go for confession, you serve with in a state of grace, everything goes well with you. And I remember in Sacred Heart Parish, we had prayer meetings on Sunday night. In fact, we spent the whole day on Saturday. So Saturday, this is a typical Saturday. Now that's not the case. Saturday, 6 a.m., there's mass. After mass, there's baptism. Right after baptism, we welcome a body for burial mass. Then we go to the cemetery. By the time we come, there's a wedding. Then after the wedding, whilst father is taking to confession, you also go for confessions. We have prayer meetings where, like Rufy said, we take through the readings. And within that time, when, for example, the burial mass is going on, I mean, some of the mass servants are washing the cassocks, the finger towels, and the purificator all lined up. We are using brass to clean the cruets, and then the
Hmm. Hmm.
ciborium, and even we're using lime to clean the
Yeah,
tubo,
purple leaves and then ashes for
pawpaw leaves
the
and all those things,
presents and
Charlie.
stuff.
And we are
Yeah.
working all those things. Whilst doing that, the cinema server, brass, I mean, who's now say nights? I mean, get us some kinky, kinky and fish. In Accra, we don't eat rice and watching like Rufi and Augustine. I mean, they are from rich
Ah.
parishes. But for us,
Oh, we're also
we
eating the
we
cake.
ate kinky, we ate kinky, and in the big bowl in the tray that the women brought offertory with. We don't eat in plates. The offertory trays, which were kept in the sacristy, we clean it with omo, you know, pour water on it with the sink from the sacristy, not from the outside. That will purify the tray, you know. And all of us will put our hands into it. So Saturday when we come in the morning, we leave like 7 p.m. And we come back and serve mass. I mean, and those days, Father Campbell didn't mind if he had 17, 22 mass service on the altar. His only question was that, did you come to work? Did you come for prayer meeting? Those who are on appointment, who they will go for their positions and all. And so cassocks were all, once you come, you can serve for two masses if you can. But when the diocesan priest came, well, they said they want 6 months service. They want 7 months service, And for me, well, that was the beginning of, I mean, everything that did not really, really, but I mean, did it help? That's another discussion we have to do. But
Okay. So,
um, up to today, I didn't get. I don't get it. I don't get it. Once they conform to the rule, why not?
why not?
So we
Okay.
miss those days where we used to because we prayed, we sang songs, we were united and we're not tired. And our
Mm.
parents, I mean, agreed for us to serve mass. And there was a time the three of us, the three of our brothers, my senior brother, myself, and my younger brother, served mass on the altar.
Mm.
That time my brother was in a seminary, so he automatically will be on the
On the
altar.
sanctuary.
I was on sanctuary because he was in a seminary. And then I was a cross bearer. That's my one of the positions. I kept the book. My kid brother always liked the tubo, wants the incense, even if my name is put on the, Chalewa Chake, let's change. And it was an awesome after Sunday mass. My mom looked at us and she was just happy.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean,
So as you rightly said, the motivational aspect of it was there. I remember, and let me use this opportunity to thank this woman very much, the in-law of my dear brother Augustine, Auntie Sisi of Lady of Mercy. I remember she would always give us fruits, a
Yes,
lot of
every
fruits.
Saturday morning.
Yeah,
Every Saturday morning.
every blessed Saturday. In fact, I was the one who go and carry it and bring it. So I know what I'm talking about. She really.
Exactly.
And then I think Gladys also behind the church, she would also give us kinky and fish.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So there were a lot of people who have really the motivational aspect. During that time, we were being motivated for the work we did. And I'm happy with Andy as he gave a vivid lifestyle of a mass servant, especially on a Saturday. Go to the church early in the morning, and sometimes you leave there in the evening because of the programs. You are there to help, and the motivation is there. Is still do we still have the same motivation today for those who are there working as mass service? Let me start with Rufi because Rufi is more of like between the old and the new generation. So Rufi.
I think there's a difference now. The motivation those times is not as it is now. Some of them are trying to, but it's still not the same. You will not get a mass ever to be around the parish from morning to evening, as at now, because they will tell you they are going for classes, they are doing their mother is those things. So those motivation from the priest too is not coming. Because sometimes it's a priest that gives the money and the bread, offertory bread and offertory drinks. But now they hold all of them in the mission house and it gets spoiled. Sometimes it is when it is
bread, yes.
it is when it's getting spoiled before they will call the mass service to come and take it now. But it was not like that. When the bread comes, you know that the bread is for mass service. So we just pack them into the sacristy. I would have to. But comparing those days to now, there's a vast difference. They are not being motivated as we.
Broadcasting, during your time, I remember some may come, especially those who were in the preparatory school, they will come and then they will still leave for extra classes on Saturdays. I remember those in the St. Paul's and stuff like that. Oh, we have to go for classes. How were you able to manage during your tenure at Our Lady of Mercy to make sure that you still have a mass service around?
It was two things. One, it was compulsory that you come on Saturday morning. It's compulsory. Then two, you cannot even take yourself out because once you take yourself out, you miss every day, every Saturday morning, different activities takes place. And during the time of Paraminta will join you at the sacristy to work.
Yeah.
So Paraminta will know those who came for morning duties and those who didn't come. And if you don't come, my brother, throughout the week, from Sunday to the following week, you are not going to be served. You understand? Because Parameter himself is there.
So there was check and balance.
Exactly. And to add to what Ufi said, the motivation is in my parish. I can say it is there, but now the focus of the youth is different. They are looking for a different kind of motivation, but the motivation we enjoyed, it is still there, but their focus is quite different.
So what motivation are they looking for? What type of motivation?
Money, social media, rewards, give me employment, sponsor me is something else, but that is different from ours. Ours, the joy that we had was a motivation for us.
Okay. Miss Andy, I have been seeing some of your videos and I've been seeing some of your teachings, having interactions with youth across the Archdiocese and sometimes even beyond the Archdiocese and beyond even the Catholic Church. You go to other churches to talk to the youth. Augustine has really made a very critical point.
Yeah. I mean, Augustus, I think that I think it's the whole system. I think also their generation. They talk about millennials and Gen Z. Now they are Gen Zs. The attitude Even the attitude towards church is different. My mom, I'm married with kids, Augustus now. Every Sunday morning at 5 a.m., I get a call from my mother asking me whether I'll go to church now. And then at 12 noon, my mom will call me to check that did I go to church? Now, Augustus, I'm 8 years in marriage. I have 3 boys. My mom calls me at 12 noon on Sundays to check whether I went to church. Did I take my wife and boys to church? She would have asked me, what did I hear from church? But now then she remembers, hey, my son is grown. My mom on Sundays will go to the sacristan to ask my sons, when are they on duty? She won't ask, oh, put them on Sunday or Saturday, but just tell me. And because we used to live in the dock hall and come to Accra Central. When you are on Tuesday or Saturday morning, she would lead you to the station, put you in the church room, and give you money. Then she with her cloth around her. On Sunday, when you are a mass server, you will take the lead. Then she will join, and she will arrive at mass at 6:30. She will arrive at 6. You must arrive at 5:30. We will sit and wait for the sacristan. She doesn't want any trouble. What's the attitude of parents of today for their children? So parents are allowing their extra classes, buying a pot for their kids. Their children will get aggregate 100. They will take them to big schools. They go to the university. They go to secondary school. They get chains of apps, and they go to business administration. Their parents are paying this. And parents don't care, you know. And so the attitude of the Catholic parents are affecting these children. Now, in the past, what kept us in the parish, like Augustine and Rufy said, there were priests who were interested in the development of young people. So in parishes, I mean, when you close from school, you want to play volleyball, there's a cultural troop. I mean, we are not saying that the priest will give us food to eat, but sometimes sharing those things makes us stay. No, I'm sorry. Most priests don't care. You know, how do we intend to grow vocations and so on and so forth? So everybody is not interested. I mean, even those, so there's a home part and there's a parish part. It's like my brother said, it's very difficult now to grow the intrinsic interest in mass serving unless the old ones talk about it. And archdiocesan, I'm talking from Accra perspective, or the youth leaders, either the youth leaders in the diocese level, or must find a way to deliberately engage parents. I remember when I was told by Father Kwe that, I mean, you know, when in Sacred Heart Parish, when when Father Kwe took over from Father Campbell, when you come back from secondary school and you are not going to the seminary and then you enter your university, you must stop serving. Because you want seminarians to serve. Now, but the tax he gives you as somebody who has entered the university is to now be around the mass service when they are. So the fact that I'm not allowing you to serve because you want to university, come and wash, help them the mass serving, go to the homes of these mass service, check where they sleep, who are their parents. And that's what we have done so far. Now, which parish priest will call an old mass server and say that help me to mentor these young ones and so on and so forth? So we are not blaming. What we are saying, Augustus, is that if times changes, we must find ways and we must find committed individuals and our priests, if they are interested, they must call people for a table and find solutions to why the interests of mass service are not there, or we are not growing vocations and so on and so forth. Of course, we are not saying that it's only through mass serving that we can get vocations. But if the interest, that interest is not there, what do we do? Let's call the Christian mothers, let's call the Christian fathers, let's call the old mass service, and let's have that discussion and make sure that that thing that we found that made us become knights on the altar, knights and ladies of the altar, Rufina, I'm sorry, knights and ladies of the altar, is still maintained, you know. So that's what I'll say on that point.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I guess let me just chip in this. I think our patrons were also helping because you serve on the altar, and maybe if you do something during the week, they see you doing something and they see you on the altar. The following Sunday, they will caution you and you will be disciplined. So I think the patrons were also helping in a way. They were helping to shape, like, what are you doing now? Which school are you, like, all those things. They were helping in education and sponsoring some of the mass service and all those things.
Okay. Thank you very much,
Yes,
gentlemen.
let me also add this. My son is a mass server,
Yeah.
and one day he was going to serve evening mass, which is 6:30.
Hmm.
He left home at 3. And yes, he left home at 3. So I was coming from work. I go to the church site at 6:05 before he came there. He went to play basketball. But in our time, this thing will not happen.
No way.
It will not happen.
It's interesting. So you follow up.
Very
Yeah.
interesting. When you ask him, I want to play basketball, and he came there to come and serve. And when he got there, our time, you go and prepare the sanctuary. But when he got there, the sanctuary is prepared already by the sacristan.
Mm.
And you can ask most of the mass servers currently, they don't know how to prepare the altar for mass. Yes,
Wow.
they don't know how to prepare the altar for mass because now there's a sacristan who does all those things for them.
This is serious.
Yes, the challenge is in a different level.
Mm.
Augustus,
Andy,
anytime I go to my village, I go to any parish, I go to my hometown, especially my hometown or any parish, and I see a priest whose chasuble is not properly fixed at the back. He pains me off. On several occasions, I can get her from the congregation. I say, Father, let me do it. And I arrange the arm at the back and make sure that the chasuble is straight for it. The masters are afraid to dress the priest. Oh, go. Look, when the priest finish mass, don't let the priest put the chasuble and the stole on the table. Take it from his hand and say, Father, thank you for mass. These things teach us how to respect authority.
Okay.
And then we carry it out in our lives. And I think these are the things that should go back and instill.
Okay. Thank you very much, gentlemen, and lady, for that wonderful input. But let me ask: is it because the charisma or the courage, the boldness, is for our younger ones today has just vanished?
Well, let me come in so that my senior brother Augustine may conclude. I think that not that I think from the human resource background that I come from, there is a wave. In the past, we served God or we used to go to God because we wanted to get closer to God. When you get closer to God, things will happen in our life. Pass our exams, get money to do whatever I want to do. We pray for our parents to have stable jobs and get a home and get a car and get better lives and all. Now, the current dispensation of young people, they have everything already. Most of these children do not even know that there's something called rented any place. Most of these children do not live in rented homes. They live in their own parents' home. They have their own rooms. They don't suffer to eat. They are driven to church. And so they are looking for something. They are looking for some quality of life, some form of joy and glory. Mass serving is a sacrifice. It's as an order, like a military, but comes a sacrifice. What will make someone, a young person, 10-year-old, 11-year-old, leave home and go and prepare and struggle with sleep on the altar, and serve 2 masses and then go for communion rounds, whilst his friends eat ice cream, soft drink after mass, and then they sit in their parents' car and they can afford on the Saturday lunch, whilst the mass servers are meeting, planning for an ordination or preparing for a schedule. Why should they be on the schedule and sacrifice to come and serve 2 months of a weekday and suffer sleep, whilst they can decide not to come to church? So it is the sacrifice, which is now missing, which we are now trying to bring. It's an activity where parents all sorry, parents and all and sundry must identify that there is a problem, that there's a need for us to change the attitude. There needs for us to talk about it and change the attitude. Other than that, we will, unfortunately, I pray so, I pray not, but we'll grow up or we'll form leaders who do not know how to sacrifice. It must be intentional and must allow the system to come. We are not talking about it as if it is normal. It's not normal. A few people are talking about it, trying to find ways to ensure that children learn how to sacrifice, to give, spend some time and sacrifice. But in general, we are just allowing the system to be. Let's go back. And parents must understand that they should allow their children to be formed. I'm not saying that allow children to suffer, okay? But we must intentionally teach them to sacrifice. And that is what Jesus did. As a young person, Jesus did. And that's how if you want to form them. So it is not that there's anything wrong, just a change of dispensation. The young people are looking for something. If we should understand them and talk to them without changing the standards of mass serving training, they'll get the picture and they will get there.
Okay. Thank you very much, Andy. Augustine,
Yes.
is it because our young ones they've lost confidence in themselves?
Yes, yeah, I think it's a combination of two issues. I think one, their focus are different from ours during our time. And then two, the parents of these days too are not helping. As Manuel rightly said, our time we're focused. There's a challenge that you need to meet. So we force ourselves to do all those things. But now there's no challenge, there's no commitment. I serve mass for fun. That's the current age. That's what they do. They serve mass for fun. I interviewed 2 mass servers about 3 months ago. Why they joined the mass service after first communion? My parish is currently about 60. I asked them, so because my friend is a mass server, that's how I also came to join. Like they don't have a reason why they joined the mass service. And current parents, we want our children to do different things outside the church. So it has changed the dynamics of our time, where we're so much focused because we want to come and serve, because we know we can achieve something at the end of the day. But the parents and the current, our focus are different from ours.
Yeah, that reminds me when Augustine said that he interviewed some man servers I think 3 months ago or so, some 3 weeks ago. I remember how I joined mass. It was very funny. It was during mass and I was roaming around the church, and I didn't know where I entered. Not I entered the sacristy, and I met Francis and then Christopher, who were there. Christopher sacked me, but Francis called me and asked me what I was doing there. I said, me, I don't know. And he asked me whether I wanted to join mass service. Me, I didn't even know what mass service was. I think I was about 9 or 7 years old or so. So then Francis invited me and then asked me to come the following Saturday for morning duties. I remember I woke up around 4 a.m. telling my mother I was going for something. So my mother said that I should sleep, and later on around 5:30, 6 o'clock, 6 a.m., she took me to the church and then she handed me over to them. And Augustine will testify, I was one of the servants who gave them headache because I'm very quiet, but I can be very stubborn. What I took them through, only know, in fact, please has to intervene. I was stuck almost 4 times. Even Mr. Lawrence,
I remember I even stuck you once.
I was stuck several times, but I will still go back because I didn't join having a purpose, but when I joined, I started having a purpose for it, and I realized that I was so happy being there. Okay, so I joined, and then I was also a CYO member, and then when they brought in Sunday football, I even forget CYO all of a sudden, and then service became my ultimate, my everything of mine. So later when I realized that I had the purpose joining them. Joining, I wasn't having a purpose, but when I joined them, I started having a purpose. It's actually helped me. It has actually transformed me. Coming to my next question, Rufi, how has the altar service, how has it transformed your life And what are some of the lessons that you today, as a mother and as a professional, you are implementing in your work?
How has it transformed my life? I think personally, it has shaped my life because whenever I do something bad, and I'm approaching the altar or it's time for communion, you see that there's some urge in me that no, what you did maybe the previous day didn't go well. I have like my conscience keeps on haunting me until I've gone for conversion before I'll be free. So I think my seven always like because we are always on the altar, it's always don't do this, do that, don't do this. So it's always made me to be alert of myself in all that I was doing. And as in shaping me, like going to church frequently, I don't miss mass. I think the only time I started missing mass was when I got pregnant the first time because of the first trimester issues. But since I started I joined mass service and I started going to church. I had never missed mass. Even if I'm sick, my mother would say, "Rufina will go to church and come and go to the hospital." So I think it's improved my spirituality in terms of relationship with God and all those things. And we are still learning. We are still learning in the church. We are not done, but I think it's helped me a lot. And I'm trying to pass that on to my children and all those around me. Yeah.
Okay. Augustine.
I got my first job because of myself.
Wow.
I went for an interview. A person was the panel. I didn't know him. He asked, "Oh, are you Augustine?" I said, "Yes." "Ah, don't you serve in Olam?" I said, "Yes." "Tomorrow, come and start work." That was all.
Wow,
That was
interesting.
all. Yes. That was all. There's a man called Mr. Big. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, I know.
Yes. He gave me my first job.
And what job
There are
was
two
it?
things. Oh, it was an account officer.
Okay.
Yeah. And there are two things that have still stayed with me. My time. In Olam, when it's a 5:45, you're supposed to be there. You're supposed to be there. Mass service also report at a certain time. So now I don't go to any program late because I've conscientized myself that I have to get there at this time. Just because I was taught about those things when I was young. And number two, dressing.
Mm.
As for a mass service, you have to always be presentable. Even if your shirt is one, you have to look presentable every day.
Mm.
And it has still stayed with me up to now.
Okay.
I have a lot more, but let me leave these two for now.
Oh, okay. Mr. Manome.
Yes, as a mass server, it's only a mass server who, if you're a long mass server in the parish, you welcome a lot of priests, like the way there have been transfers in others of Accra, priests come, priests go. So I remember I like to give practical examples. In Sacred Heart Parish, Father Kwe does not like a lot of fire in the turbo, He likes small fire, doesn't like too much. If you put too much and put the incense in, then put the fire, and the fire is red like that, you ask a minute. Shallow means that are you going to use the fire to smoke fish or something? Put some water and then let it go down small, But then his assistant priest, Father Comensa, Father George.
Yeah.
He said, why? Give me fire. Go back and fetch more fire. Because he wants a lot of smoke, Father Muzu want a lot of smoke,
Yeah.
And
They
Father
love the
Muzu said,
incense.
no. Yeah, he said, no, Andy, when it's consecration, Andy, no, go back. Put fire inside, then then we are happy, So it teaches you to respect authority. That the priest is the priest, his signals are his signals, his instructions are instructions, and you take instructions, and it follows us. So in as much as you may disagree, he's a boss. You take it. You may express whatever opinion that you have, but the priest is the priest. It's as simple as that. So we learn how to be like Rufina is saying. I cannot go for mass without taking the day's reading. I remember I still remember Father George, and Father George, and then Deacon Father Atta when he was a deacon in Sacred Parish. After the reading of the homily, look, one day you test it at the mass service. Take the microphone, tell us what you've heard from the reading. Now, what if you are not prepared? So he will tell us that you are standing by me as a priest. See yourself as a priest. Take the readings, and if they say share something, you will have something in your mind. You cannot come there dumb. God, and he said, look, very soon people will be coming to you to say, write the readings for me. So if you've not read, how will you write? I mean, how can you forget the gospel reading for the day? How can a man ever move without knowing the gospel reading for the day? Like today, like Jesus spoke to, he was going to Jerusalem and the disciples, they were not allowed. Jesus, let's call fire from heaven, So I cannot go for mass without taking the readings. I have to prepare. And so it it follows you. I mean, I must know what I'm doing. Every gesture on the altar has a meaning. For example, so I go to the mass service, one parish, and then after mass, I realize, if they are going to begin mass, incense is put in the turbo. Then we start the procession. It's incense. Then consecration. But remember that it's only consecration that the mass server comes and puts the incense into the turbo. So I ask the mass service. Now, when the priest put in the incense in the turbo, and then you incense the priest, and then the congregation, you go back, do you go and pour all the coal away, or you take some? Because mind you, he has blessed the fire, but you have gone to pour it away. And the most important part of the mass, the consecration, there's no blessed coal inside. Have you realized that? Then they realized that, okay. So I said, yeah, so if you want a new one, just take one or two and add it to the blessed coal. And then you bring it, okay. So then they had meaning. In the past, they will bow after consecration. I said, why are you bowing? Jesus is present. You're bowing. Why don't you genuflect? And then when they are taking the cruet, when they're watching the cruet and all, and they take the ciborium, then they are bowing. So, but Jesus is present. The wine, the priests are not finished drinking the wine. It's still present, and you are bowing. Okay, so there's a meaning to whatever you do. So if I don't understand anything, I must ask for me to get the understanding. And at a young age, at 10 or 11, that was what was put into my mind. And has carried it along. I must understand. If I don't understand, I must understand. And so these are the lessons I've had as a mass ever.
Okay, so Brother Augustine and then Brandy, this question goes to you because Rufi is in the military barrack setting, but you are in parishes where you had changes from missionary priest to diocesan priest.
Yeah.
It is not too much comparison, but let's compare the two. Let me use it for lack of words. Let's compare the two. How was it like working with a missionary priest and then later on to a diocesan?
Let me use Father Bimstewa and Father Hugo as an example.
Yeah.
Yeah, Father Bimstewa will allow you to do everything that you want. Like everything that you want, that is right. And he will give you everything. He was very liberal in terms of finances. But here came Father who is a bit strict. Sometimes money for our programs becomes very difficult. And he taught us how to make money. You remember every
December
Feast of Epiphany? Yes.
Yeah.
You go around
Christmas, yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The three wise men.
Yes. And in fact, it was difficult for us then, but it helped us. One, it taught us to make money, it taught us to finance our programs. And among all the youth group, we were one of the richest.
Yeah.
We saw our own cassock, not the church. We saw our own cassock. We buy everything that we want. And it's one of our programs, when it's service day, we pick our own transport and pay for it without going through the priest. So it made us self-reliant. But the diocesan are a bit different. Some of them don't really care. Some of them also care. Let me use Paramita as an example. Paramita cares a lot. And I remember you'll be in school, far away in Kumasi. Paramita will come there and visit you. And you'll come with provisions and money. And you come and visit you in school. That's how we're about 6, myself, John Paul, Eric, we're in school. And we come there and visit you. But some of the diocesan also don't really care. They leave you to do whatever you want. So if you ask me to choose, I'll prefer the SVDs the white priests. They made things practical for us to follow.
Okay. Andy,
Yeah,
over to you.
of course, you know what? You know my plan on this already. Probably I think that the missionaries, maybe because maybe I'm just, I don't know, but I'm just guessing that they wanted to grow the church, they wanted to grow the numbers, and so they were very accommodating. For example, Reverend Brother Patrick Murphy, a Reverend Brother SVD who was in Sacred Heart Parish, had a unique way of encouraging us, for and I'm saying our academy because where the parish was located, it wasn't a plush. Parents did all kinds of work to make sure that we survive. But for us to speak English, to come for mass and all those things, they had ways of encouraging us. I don't know about the dancer. Probably they have their own. Maybe Augustus. You should find out why from the dancer priest why they changed their strategy. Because I can tell you for a fact that almost all mass servers who served under missionary priest, I'm saying almost all. I'm not saying all. Almost all mass
Almost
servers
all,
who served under
majority.
missionary, yes, and had a different feeling when it came to the diocesan. And I just gave an example that Father Campbell will allow 10, 15, 20 mass servers on the altar. So far as you came to work and you came for prayer meeting on a Saturday because it kept them from stop coming to church. Because you are serving on your altar, there are certain things, your shoe, your dress code, your hair, come early and so on and so forth. But when the rule came that only 6 months service, not like 5 months service, so on and so forth. Now even it got to a point. Some there are some order that when the priest is on the altar, no mass servers will sit by the priest on the altar. Go and sit down there because you're not a priest. Whilst the missionary priest will want them to sit close.
Yeah.
Why not? What is wrong? And so on and so forth. Why the change? You ask those questions. Like my brother said, I still have the letters written to me by Father Campbell and Brother P. When I was in SS1, the year 2000, that we're expecting to. You're a good guy, you're studying, well, come back and serve. We are waiting for you. And when you come back from school, you are specially welcomed on the altar, in the sacristy. Now the SS people go to school, they come back, nobody welcomes them. They come and they are just in a vacuum. Then they go to other churches and they are welcomed. Whose responsibility is good? Pastoral care, as far as the mass service is low, and so on and so forth. So it's something that needs to be done. It has to be done intentionally. Look, I see some priests. I'd like to mention. Okay, I'll mention names. Now I can see some diocesan priests, who drive their SS students, their mass service to school. I saw one recently. I don't want to mention names.
I can mention I've been seeing Father Hilary with the Bakita people youth. I've been seeing Father Kujo too. And I remember Father Hansen in the past when he was at Lashibi, he was taking some of them to school, visiting them. I think Father Osmond, a few of them.
Yeah. I've seen Father Salifu too, and I'm saying that this idea, I remember when they became priests, they called me up. My classmates who were priests called me up to ask me, Andy, what can we do to make sure that the young people, mass service and the youth like the church? Especially, I told them that SHS is a very difficult level in education, and therefore we must visit them, engage them. It would be nice to see your priest in the castle visit your school. You will not fool again. When you come back to home, you'll be around because hey, father came to visit me. You don't want to disappoint. And then they will form that deliberate interest in the young people, that care, that pastoral care in that young person needs to be done. When it's not done, we lose. And I'm saying that the missionaries did it. The SMAs, the SVDs did it. In those times when the resources were few, the parishes were many, the collection was not high, and so on. Why not now? When all the priests in the parish have cars. You know what I'm saying? Yes.
Yeah.
So so what are you saying? So let's take out our young people. Let's be intentional. Let's be deliberate in our actions of the growth. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Andy Manome. Thank you very much, Augustine and Rupi. As we run up this interview, I would want to find out from you your last words, starting from Augustine.
I don't know, but
What?
before that, I don't know whether we can sing the anthem before we end. I mean, I can still remember because the anthem is still powerful. But I'll leave it.
But if
I would have voted to speak because my senior brother Augustine should conclude. I'm the little one.
okay, you go on, Andy. If we're guessing
We
like
are
this,
the
why not?
knights of the altar. We are the friends of our Lord Jesus. We will serve at the throne of God to proclaim that the Lord is King. So, nice ladies, nice ladies, nice of the altar. We will serve and die for the Lord. So, nice ladies, nice of the altar. We will serve and die for the Lord.
Thank you very much, Andy.
My last words. What I would say is, we old masters should take up the challenge of taking up positions in church. We've gone through the mill already. We know what we benefited when we were young, the kind of discipline we went through. Why don't you take up the position now and make sure we implement all those things whilst we are in leadership? I think it will help. I quite remember just last week during the late week, this topic came out about the youth and what we used to do previously and what we're not doing now. And I have the opportunity to speak on it. I'm admonishing all the old masters to take up these positions in church and make sure that we implement all those good old days principles and discipline that we enjoy, so that the current master will also learn. But if we come and talk about it and we don't go and do anything, all these things will not happen. So let's challenge ourselves. Okay, let's challenge ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Bro Augustine. Mr. Andy.
Yes,
After Andy, then Ruby comes in to conclude.
Yeah, I totally agree with my senior brother that we have to do something. And I think that, not that I think, we must be intentional. I don't need any permission from my parish priest to engage the man servants. I'm waiting for the first parish priest to tell me, Andy, don't go and talk to them. But the priest knows the impact that I can make. We shouldn't wait to be called to go and encourage the young people. Where any parish that I go, there's a man servant, either Kumasi, Kofodia, Accra. I enter the circle and I engage the man servant to understand what they're doing. Because look, if a man servant serves mass with sin, it's a serious damage. And so for me, I pray confession, state of grace for all them, because they shouldn't just serve mass because they want to show a girl in the church that they are serving mass. That kind of and then when after mass, once I don't like after mass, then they're wearing their cassocks without surplice, greeting everybody. I'll quickly call you and say, why? Is a cassock for you? Or you're go remove the cassock. You are finished. Why are you wearing the cassock and then you are greeting everybody walking around and this thing? The priest has taken off his arm. You are wearing your that kind of misconception. We need to be up for them to understand what they are doing. And so we old masters, we have a mandate. We shouldn't wait for us to be called. No, there shouldn't wait for any policy to be done. But the tenants, that great foundation that we have, that gift, that treasure that we found, we must let them know. And if possible, parents or master servants, to uphold that institution that has formed us to become what we are today. Thank you, Augustus.
Okay, so I would want to thank God for giving me the opportunity to serve on the altar. If it has not been my servant, I don't know where I would have been. And also, we would have to avail ourselves to the young ones and groom them, and also be welcoming to them whenever they approach us or they need our help. We should be able to help them when they come. And lastly, about our spirituality, some of us serve on the altar, so we think we are closer to God. But I think you serving and not attaining what Christ wants will not be the ultimate goal. So we should take our spirituality very seriously and try to do what God wants us to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lady Rufina.
Welcome, Augustine. But I wanted to say that there are other things that we didn't say. Look, mass servants were the controversial youth in the parishes. We
Of course.
disagreed because like Rufina said, we were very spiritual, close to God. So therefore, we could say things to maybe PPC or even the private because we disagreed. But all these things form us to become better people. Yeah.
Yeah. But for me, I was even now, but then I was very timid. It was mass service that actually opened me up. Augustine will tell you. I was very stubborn, but very timid.
I can confirm that.
Very stubborn, but very timid. But through their leadership and stuff like that, it opened me up. And now I can stand in front of people and then talk boldly and with that confidence. So mass service has actually saved a lot of us, has actually formed a lot of us to become who we are today. My closeness to the church, my closeness to the people I know, I would say all streams from serving the Lord through the altar. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate you. God with you, bless you. The program is The Conversation with Augustus. And to you, our dear viewers, if you have ever been a man server, comment. Let's hear from you. Thank you so much. The program has been The Conversation with Augustus. God will bless you for watching. Adios.
Thank you very much.